right. Hey, it's Abby here for the first week of middle grade May. I am so excited to read all kinds of middle grade this month and share it with you on my blog. So this year, I'm partnering with Akos and her awesome YouTube channel, and she set some themes for us this year to just kind of look at some different middle grade books. And the theme for the first week here is characters that really stick with you, characters in middle grade that you just love. And so I've got a few books that immediately came to mind with that theme, and I'm just going to do some short book talks for you. And the first one that I want to talk about is One Crazy Summer by Rita Williams-Garcia. This is the first book in the Gaithers sisters series, and I love it. So it's historical fiction. It's set in 1968, and the three sisters, Delphine and Vanetta and Fern, are traveling across the country to California to spend the summer with their mother, who they haven't seen since Delphine was a little girl. Delphine's the oldest, and so of course that means that she is in charge. She's in charge of getting her sisters safely across the country and making sure that, they have everything they need for the summer. When I book talk this to students, I always tell them that, especially if you are an older child, you will definitely identify with Delphine and that feeling that you're the one who has to make sure that everything's going to be okay. So when they get out to Oakland in the summer of 1968 to spend the summer with their mother, Delphine has all these ideas about what it's going to be like. And she thinks that, their mom's going to cook them dinner and they're going to have great talks. She's going to tuck them into bed at night. And it turns out that their mom is not really like that at all. She doesn't seem super interested in spending time with them. She mostly just wants to concentrate on her work, and she sends them to this summer day camp run by the Black Panthers in their neighborhood, where Delphine and her sisters get a different kind of education, and they start learning about their African American heritage in a different way than they'd ever thought about it before. So this is the first book in the series. There's two other books about these sisters. They are all awesome. If you like historical fiction, if you like characters that you just really get to know and then you can't let go of them, then check out One Crazy Summer by Rita Williams-Garcia. As you can see, it's won so many awards they almost don't fit on the page. So let's see, the next one that I want to share with you is another historical fiction. I love historical fiction. And this is The War That Saved My Life by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. This is historical fiction set in England during World War II. And I can't remember her name. I can never remember characters' names. Isn't that awful? Ada. It doesn't mean I love her any less. Our main character, Ada, is she was born with a clubfoot, which is like easily correctable even in the 40s, with surgery, and not uncommon. Like, a lot of kids had that and they fixed it and they went on to be fine. But the thing with Ada is that her mother, when Ada was born, she saw that clubfoot as a sign that Ada was evil, that she was of the devil. This is a thing that some people thought. And so she never got it fixed, and she also did not really put a lot of resources into Ada. She kept Ada at home. She wasn't allowed to go to school. Her mom, didn't provide her any, she didn't try and teach her how to walk. She basically just crawled around the apartment. Ada's little brother was allowed to go to school. Ada was just kept in the apartment, not being able to do anything. And then when World War II happened and they started evacuating the kids out of London, Ada saw her opportunity. She knew that the kids were going to be leaving, her little brother was going to be evacuated, and this was her chance. This was her chance to get out and maybe have a different life. And so Ada teaches herself to walk on her clubfoot, which is incredibly painful, and she leaves with her little brother when they evacuate. And they are taken by train out to the countryside, where they are assigned to live with a woman out there who has a farm and a horse, who Ada immediately bonds with. It's a story that will kind of break your heart, but at the same time, Ada is so determined and you know, she's got a lot of trauma that she's dealing with, but, you know, she really comes around and really not only grows herself, but changes everyone around her as well. This is The War That Saved My Life. If there's also a sequel to this, which is also awesome, called The War I Finally Won, and you definitely will want to read this one first for sure, but then you'll definitely want to pick that up and see how Ada's story continues. And the last book that I wanted to book talk with you today, also a series. I'm into series with this theme, I guess. But this is the book Ghost by Jason Reynolds. And this is the first book in the Track series, and each book in the Track series explores a different character that's on this elite track team. In Ghost, which is the first one, Ghost is a kid who is very fast because he has needed to be very fast. When he was younger, there came a time that he and his mom had to leave their apartment very quickly and get away from Ghost's dad, who was not a good guy. And so Ghost has always felt like he's been running, and he's fast because he's needed to be. And then one day he stumbles across this track team that's practicing near his neighborhood, and he jumps in and finds out that he is really good at it, and it turns out that it's something that he really likes, and these kids are nice kids that he bonds with, and the coach is great, and Ghost starts to really rely on the track team to kind of fill some holes in his life that he has. And the thing is, to stay on the track team, Ghost has to stay out of trouble, which is not easy for Ghost. He kind of feels like trouble follows him around. You know, he's going to have to figure it out. So Jason Reynolds is a master of voice. Any book that he writes, I feel like his characters immediately jump off the page and introduce themselves to you. The other books in this series are just as good. Patina and Sunny just came out, which I just finished, and also amazing. If you like character-driven books, this is the one. This is a series that you must check out. It's realistic, contemporary. If you have kids that like sports, this is a great one. But even if you have kids that don't care about sports that much, but they love just getting to know characters that really feel like real people, then this is a great series to share with them too. So those are my favorite character-based middle grade books, things that I think both adults and kids should definitely check out if you love reading about great characters. And that's it for now. So I will see you next week, and you can look for some more middle grade reviews and things on my blog this month as I'm reading more and more middle grade. I hope you are too. Share with me in the comments what you're reading, and happy middle grade May.